Welcome to lesson number 2 in Module 3, Types of Funds, introducing you to the different types of funds available. We spoke about what fundraising is. Bear in mind that the competition is very complex. As you can see, statistics say that within 3,000 new ideas, just one is successful. As you see in this picture, during the entire lifetime of your business idea or enterprise, you will find different actors that can help you and your business not only with financial support, but also with managerial skills. In the gestation phase, the typical founders are called FFF, family, fools, and friends, people that can support your idea with small amounts of money without any guarantee. In the second phase, there is another type of founders called business angels, on which we will focus in Module 3, Lesson 4. After this stage, your revenue should increase, and you could find venture capitalists treated in Module 3, Lesson 5. Once your business has grown rapidly, you will have the possibility to ask support from banks. We will talk about banks and microcredit in Module 3, Lesson 8. After this stage, your business shall expand, and it can be transformed into a joint stock company with an initial public offer, but this will not be addressed in the following lessons. What you should ask yourself is, why should my idea be financed? The answer is simple. Investors want to get a return from their investment. They usually decide to finance ideas based on quantitative and qualitative analysis. Quantitative analysis is represented by net present value, internal return rate, and payback period, eventually discounted. These three indicators are just the most famous and typically used. The net present value is used to analyze the profitability of a project. Here, the formula is represented. The initial investment is a negative amount. The discounted cash flows are represented by the cash flow of the first year at the numerator and 1 plus cost of capital, typically the interest rate, at the denominator. This discounted cash flow for the first year has to be repeated for the second year, the third, etc., until the year N that represents the final year that you want to consider. Typically, this is 3 to 5 years. Here is an example that you can better understand. Consider that we want to buy a new 3D printer for $15,000, the initial investment. The interest rate is 5%. After 1 year, the 3D printer does not have a high demand, and we sold just $1,000 worth of items while we spent $4,000 on advertising. So our net income is negative $3,000. After that, the demand trend changed, and we sold items for $5,500, $8,000 in the third year, and $10,000 in the fourth. So after 4 years, our NPV is $2,269.24. Remember that it is possible to have negative cash flows for the first years, but the important thing is to have a positive NPV. The internal return rate is a discounted rate at which the NPV equals 0. To calculate IRR using the formula, one would set NPV equal to 0 and solve for the discount rate R, which is here the IRR. Because of the nature of the formula, however, IRR cannot be calculated analytically and must instead be calculated either through trial and error or by using software. Generally speaking, the higher a project's internal rate of return is, the more desirable it is to undertake the project. Here is an example of the internal return rate. In year 0, there is the initial investment of 165,000 euros. The cash flows of year 1, 2, and 3 are 63,120 euros, 70,800 euros, and 91,080 euros. The software will solve the equation per IRR. That means if you find a cost of capital less than 16.13%, the investment could be profitable. Payback period refers to the period of time to recover the initial investment and represent a break-even point measure. In this example, there is an initial investment of 100,000 euros. After 1 year, cash flow is positive by 20,000 euros, so the balance is minus 100,000 plus 20,000, which equals minus 80,000. In the second year, the cash flow is plus 30,000, and the balance is minus 80,000 plus 30,000, which equals minus 50,000. After 3 years, the cash flow is 50,000 and the balance is 0, so the initial investment of 100,000 euros has been paid. Investors also use qualitative analysis, such as filter questions in order to ensure that the idea meets the required criteria, like customer role, time, and cost of the project. Another tool is the Q-sort, which is a selection of a series of ideas through the application of some parameters like technical feasibility, impact on the market, or strategic coherence. There is also another tool called conjoint analysis that is used to estimate the value that customers give to certain factors of choice through the use of large-scale surveys and statistical analysis. After this lesson, you should now be able to identify the possible sources of financing depending on timing and some criteria through which your idea will be evaluated. That could be quantitative or qualitative methods.